I wanted to ask now about this situation involving the Shadow Transport Minister, Bridget McKenzie, being forced to declare 16 flight upgrades she didn't previously declare. Now, she's issued an apology, but Peter Dutton and David Littleproud are not going to take action against her. Should she stay a Shadow Minister?
Look, ultimately that's a matter for Mr Dutton and Mr Littleproud and for Ms McKenzie herself. I mean, I think I make the point that she was the chief prosecutor in this sort of saga over the last couple of weeks, and yet was obviously pretty casual about the way in which she declared her own upgrades. It's really important that as politicians we are completely transparent about any gifts, any hospitality that we receive in the course of our work as members of Parliament, that we declare that transparently and in real time. That's available online. People can go and see, what I've received, what other members of Parliament have received over the last sort of several years, going back many, many years if they want to. And so the fact that someone in such an important position has not declared that, not just once or twice, but on many, many occasions, particularly given she's in the transport portfolio, is obviously pretty concerning. But ultimately it's a matter for that side of politics to deal with that.
Speaking of which, I see in July 2023 you received an upgrade to business on a personal trip with Qantas. Can you tell us who you approached for that, where that trip was to, and how that occurred?
Well, to the best of my recollection, I was in Melbourne for a colleague's 50th birthday on the weekend. Obviously, I'd paid for my flight. It was a quick go over on Saturday afternoon, come back on Sunday morning. I'd booked myself, and to the best of my recollection, I simply sort of got to the airport and they had upgraded me. I mean, this happens by airlines to shift the load in their airline. If they have a spare business class seat, generally they'll upgrade an economy class passenger up to that so that they can then on-sell the economy class seat, for which there's always more demand than there is capacity. So I didn't ask anyone for it. I simply arrived at the airport and got handed a ticket that was an upgrade. I declared it in the proper way, and this is not uncommon.
Now, COVID is kind of in the distant memory now, but you've announced today that Australian mums and newborns will have free access to the best vaccine to prevent the RSV virus ahead of winter 2025. What's behind this move?
Well, you mentioned COVID. COVID was overwhelmingly an illness that afflicted older Australians. RSV is overwhelmingly an illness that hits the youngest members of our community. So this year, for example, we've seen about 160,000 cases of RSV recorded over the course of this winter. Fully half of them were under 4-year-olds. It really hits under 2-year-olds very, very hard. It's the leading cause of hospitalisation for babies. And today I'm absolutely delighted to be able to announce one of the world's most comprehensive vaccination and protection programs for Australia's babies. We think about 12,000 babies are hospitalised every year, every winter, through RSV. The leading cause, as I said, of hospitalisation, about a quarter of them end up in ICU. This program I'm announcing today, we think, will cut that hospitalisation rate by up to 90%, a huge win for families and for babies.